What is up, guys? Jake from One Hive here with a special video that I was telling you was coming, and it is a letter to Supercell from the war community, just addressing the issues that I think are out there. Uh, Telling Supercell, I hope that someone from Supercell picks this up. I hope someone that works at Supercell sees it, passes it along, emails it, whatever, shares it with developers, with PR people, with the CEO. I wish everybody at Supercell could see it because I think it is a good. Compilation of everything that how the war community feels, what we're asking for, what we'd like to see happen, and just an honest letter to you guys from us. So if you do work at Supercell and you see this, please share it with people. Whether you liked it, whether you hated it, at least give us this chance to speak with you and for you to hear what we have to say. Before I get started on that, though, I want to address the war community in general as a whole. And what I want to say is we're not real nice to us because we are by far and away the most toxic, the worst behaved, the nastiest community in Clash of Clans, and that's our fault. That's not Supercell's fault. Yes, you can say, well, they don't do this, they don't do that. It doesn't matter. Your behavior is your behavior, and because someone else does something doesn't justify your bad behavior. So I know you guys are just trying to support me and support the war community, but when we see the FU Supercell and all that stuff like that, guys, that's not constructive. That doesn't help anything. That doesn't change anything. If you're going to give negative feedback, that's fine. I'll never say that you shouldn't give negative feedback. You guys know I do. But I also give positive feedback. And when I do give negative feedback, I try to make sure it's in a constructive, well thought out way, not, hey, F you, Supercell, you suck. No, that doesn't help anybody. That doesn't change anything. And what do you think Supercell's reaction to that is? They turn off. They don't listen to us anymore on that. And that goes for any relationship. What we're trying to do is build a relationship with this game company that we love, and stuff like that simply turns them off. They go away. They don't want to listen. They're not going to listen to any. If you started off with FU Supercell, it doesn't matter what else you say. They're not listening. They're not hearing it. So we have to change our behavior as a community if we want to get anywhere with Supercell. The us versus them is not going to work, guys, because we'll lose that every time. They're in charge. So we have to stop that. That's not the right strategy. We've got to learn how to be constructive, tell them what we want, tell them what we think, because they need to hear it, but do it in a way that's way less toxic and way less, that's not appealing to them. Supercell is they're very big on this community thing and want it to be a happy community. So that behavior really turns them off, and it makes us lose ground, not gain ground. So try to change that, guys. Just think about it before you type something. Think about it before you tweet something. It's fine to have negative feedback. Try not to do it in such a toxic way. All right, now to Supercell. There's three segments of this game. You've got the farming, the pushing, and the war. And they're very distinct, separate segments of the game. And each segment tends to appeal to a different type of player. You've got the farming, which tends to be more casual players. Not saying there aren't some hardcore farmers out there. Of course there are. But for the most part, that is more of a casual game style. They get on, they do some collecting, they do some farming raids, they upgrade something, they log off. That's that. That's their game, and that's great. Nothing wrong with that. It's awesome. The game appeals to them. It's fun for them, and it should be. And that's wonderful. So no problem with that. As far as pushing, in my opinion, it's a little bit middle of the road. Again, of course, you have super hardcore pushers, but you've got, just casual pushers that are happy with being in Titan League or whatever. If they get there, they feel like they've accomplished something. And to me, they're middle of the road as far as how in depth they are with the game. Obviously, it does take some skill. They're hitting Town Hall 10s soon. They'll be hitting Town Hall 11s, but simply because of prep time, and they get 30 seconds. They have to build their army. They go in. They don't even know what base they're going to hit yet. I would say that their depth and their knowledge is just not what War Guys is, simply because of that. It's nothing that they're not as good a player. I'm not saying that. I'm saying they don't have the time to break down a base, to really get into the details of troop behavior and all that stuff. They more or less figure out a good, solid 2-star strategy that they can go in on basically any base, hit it, get their cups, and get out. Excuse me. Then you have the war guys, and in my opinion, are the most. I hate the word hardcore, but I don't know what else to use really. They're the most dedicated. They will spend an hour on a base. They'll look at. I'm talking about down to the detail of this troop needs to be dropped on this tile, not that tile right next to it, because it makes a difference in the attack. Way in-depth troop pathing and all the things that go along with that. And because of that, I think that they are some of the most outspoken and passionate about Clash of Clans. And that goes back to what I addressed in our community. Because of that passion, sometimes it come across in a very, very non-constructive, just bad way. But it's, in a way I understand. Again, they love the game. They spend that much time. They're into it that much. They've really dove into this game all the way as far as it goes. And so they get frustrated when things, that need to be changed in the game aren't, and things like that. And always, again, I'm not justifying their behavior, but it always doesn't come across well. But Supercell, don't lump us in with the worst of our community. Every segment has trolls and has people that do that stuff. And I feel like we have all, as a community, because of some of the stuff with Molt and with the, all of that come across so bad, that the worst, the most outspoken trolls of our segment of the game got that attention, and all of a sudden we were all painted with that brush. That's not the war community. That's not us. We have a very mature, fun community that I feel like is ignored a lot of the times because of that, because they think, oh, we don't want to get in our hands on that because they are so trolly and all that. That's not the way it is. It really isn't. That is the loud minority. The silent majority is nothing like that. So please don't lump us in with all of that. But that is what makes this game so special, is that everyone from a 12-year-old that just plays it extremely casually, all the way up to someone in these super high-level wars that are breaking a base down to tile by tile. Everyone can enjoy it. There's something for everybody. So that's what makes this game beautiful, is that it appeals to all of those people. And whether it was on purpose or by accident, I don't know. But you have the most strategic, the most elegant game as far as strategy of its type out there. Period. The end. There's nothing that compares to it. Trust me, we've looked. But please don't let that go to waste. We feel so much as a community like our segment, like the detailed, the nitty-gritty war attack segment that gets down to those details is ignored, and we're not. You don't listen to our feedback. You don't promote what we do, and we just hate to see it go to waste, because again, it is the best. Trust me when I tell you this. There's nothing else like it. There's nothing else that has the detail, the strategy level that your game has when it comes to war attacks. It's, again, whether it was an accident or whether this is something that you guys planned for all along, it's beautiful, and you've got it near perfect. Especially at things like Town Hall 10. We've said for a long time needs work. That's some of the things we talk about that we need to have communication and listen on. Town Hall 9 is probably the most perfect balance of any game I've played, period, as far as a strategy game when it's not against another human that's reacting, it's just against what's set up there. It's just perfect. Town Hall 10 needs work. Hopefully Town Hall 11 helps that, but please don't let that go to waste. It's so good. It's going to appeal to more people if you'll expose more people to it. And it doesn't have to be either or. I don't know how that, I get that sense a lot of the times. Like Supercell as a company has to either promote what we're talking about or the casual stuff. It doesn't have to be that way. You can promote both. There's nothing wrong with promoting the fun things, the lighter side of the game. That's great, and it obviously appeals to a lot of people. But why not promote the high end, the hardcore game as well? Because again, you've got the best one out there, and you're just sort of keeping it under a lid where no one knows about it. You've got to let that out there so more people that are drawn to that type of game will come say, hey, wait a minute, you're kidding me? You're telling me Clash of Clans, this tablet game, has that level of intricate detail and strategy? Wait a minute, I might like this. But instead, you're hiding it, you're protecting it so that no one knows about it. And I think that's a mistake. So what are we asking for as a community from Supercell? We want communication. We want you to talk to us. We want you to listen to us. The answer doesn't always have to be yes. We understand that, whether it be from a developing standpoint, whether it be from just a business standpoint, whatever, that things we want in the game, the answer might be no. But it would mean the world to us to just have that line of communication with SuperCell to where you listen. Here's what we think about the game. Here's what we think the game needs. This needs to be changed. This needs to be implemented. Uh, it's such a valuable situation to have back and forth with a company to where that they listen to their players, their users of their product, and take that feedback. Whether they agree with it and implement it's one thing, but just having the feedback is so valuable. We just want that communication. It doesn't have to be with me. If SuperCell just doesn't jive with me, that's fine. That's understandable. But someone from the community that can give feedback from what we want. Again, going back to the hardcore, part that we are of this game, nobody knows more about the game, about the details of this game, troop behavior, what works, what doesn't, what's overpowered. No one knows more about that stuff than your hardcore war community. It's just an invaluable resource that I feel like you guys are not taking advantage of and not putting, you could get so much good information from us on that stuff if you would just reach out to us, if you would just communicate with us and listen to the things that we have to say about it. Again, it won't always be positive feedback, but I don't want you to feel like all we ever do is give negative feedback. That's not true. I mean, not too long ago, I made a video called Why Clash of Clans is the best game ever. I mean, I love this game. There's so many things you've done right. In fact, there's way more things you've done right than you've done wrong. But I guess it's just human nature to not dwell on what's right about the game and just praise it over and over and over, but to try to continually improve it. Here's what needs to be improved. Here's what needs to be changed. And that's the reason I think you get a lot of, quote, negative feedback, is because that's what would make the game better in our eyes. You shouldn't want, and I'm not saying that you do, but as a business, as a company, you should never want just positive feedback. If all you want is someone to tell you how great everything you do is, then how are you ever going to improve? Again, not saying that's the case. I'm just saying this is how we feel, that when we give this negative feedback, it's sort of blocked out or shut down or not listened to, or we get a form letter answer back about it. You should want that. If I was running a company, a game company, I would hire people. I want all the feedback you can get me from this community. I want to know what they like, what they don't like. I want to know it all. And I feel like you guys should feel that way. If you don't, you should really want that. Another thing that we want from you as a community is we want you to shed light on the 3-star game. Again, we feel like you've kept it under a lid, that you purposefully don't promote it. You promote mediocrity, which again, I want you guys to understand, we as a community, not just me, as a community, we're fine with casual players. We don't feel like we're superior to them. That's how they choose to play the game. It's just for fun. But you guys make it to where there's no, you keep it under a lid to where there's no chance of anybody that plays the game casually that might not know about this stuff to take that and to realize how much they like it and to sort of grow in the game and get better in the game. Nobody can promote this stuff like you guys can. There's no YouTuber, there's no anything. You guys control what goes out there. And not once have you ever promoted real high-level war stuff. And we don't understand it. Again, you've got this beautiful game. You've got this elegant, detailed, awesome AI and the different troops and the way they can be used together. And you hide it. You hide it from the masses just to show more Go Wipe or more, whatever else that gets put out there over and over and over again. And it's so confusing to us. I mean, it makes no sense because, again, it doesn't have to be either or. You can still promote that stuff. You can still show that stuff. But throw in some high-level gameplay with it. You'll be surprised, I think. People like it. And to speak on that, just like Ash was saying, he was there at ClashCon, did a great job, and he said it was amazing how attentive and how interested these people were that literally had never heard of this stuff. They had no idea what it was. What's a Go-Ho? Don't even know. Never heard of it. What is that? What's a Go-Laloon? No idea. But yet you've got your head developer up on the main stage talking about these attacks. You as a company have failed by not putting this out there. You've got people that have traveled thousands of miles to your biggest event ever, and they don't even know what your head developer is talking about. That's a PR problem. That's a problem that you guys have not put it out there to the community to see. Otherwise, they would know about it. Clearly, they know about what's going on with Clash because they're at Clash of Clans, but yet they don't know about Goho and Go Alone. I think that's what we're asking for. Help us get it out there. If they don't like it, it's fine. They can stay with Go Wipe. They can stay with farming and raids and all that. There's nothing wrong with that. If they're enjoying the game, that's great. But expose them to it. You never know who's going to fall in love with it and delve deeper into your game and get more into it and enjoy it at a deeper, richer level. A lot of people will say that, when I make a video like this, oh, quit whining, the war community is too tiny of segment. They're never going to worry about the war community. It's 1%, it's whatever. I disagree with that. I could be wrong. I guess SuperCell could correct me, but there's nothing in my mind to prove that. And not only that, there's no way that more people don't enjoy war than will ever enjoy the Legend League. Think about it. It's impossible. I'm talking about ever. There'll never be any people at Legend League, which is a huge thing that they put in the game, implemented in the game. Not only that, those Legend League guys, they get features, they get gems, they get recognition, they get all of this stuff. What do the war guys get? The best players in the world. I think there's some confusion, and I think some people believe it. Some people don't, but some people believe that these top trophy pushers are the best players in the world. It's simply not true. They do not have the depth of knowledge that the very, very top level war guys in the world do. There's just no question about it. Again, it's not their fault, not that they couldn't have that level of knowledge. They have 30 seconds. They can't develop it. They've got to have a go-to, surefire 2-star attack. But to take out a base, the entire base, you saw it there. You got guys with level 40 heroes, maxed out Town Hall 10 that can't 3-star a Town Hall 9. In fact, they 1-star a Town Hall 9. They're not the best players in the world. They might be great at trophy pushing. They might be very dedicated to the game, and nothing wrong with that. But they're not the best players in the world. So to sort of stay on the topic of the war events, you've got to get better attackers, and I understand that that's easier said than done. That it's a hard situation to be in, especially in the state of the game when cheating is rampant like it is at the high level. But in order to get better attackers, you've got to change the trophy pushing to get war guys. It's just don't do that anymore. You've seen the outcome of it, and you have to understand that you're not appealing to your target audience with this. Who do you think is getting up in the middle of the night to watch a live streamed war event, or even if it's in their time zone, if it's in their sweet spot, their prime time? Who do you think is tuning into these war events? It's not the casual farmers. It's not the trophy pushers. I mean, yes, you're going to have some of that, but a war event appeals to war enthusiasts. So in order to have them enjoy what they're watching, they need to see good attacks, high-level attacks, 3-star attacks. And you've got to start finding a way to get to those guys. Again, I know it's not easy. It's not, we've been dealing with it for a year and a half now. We've been trying to find the best fair play war guys out there. And we do it, again, for a year and a half. We've been doing this. So it goes back to communication. Communicate with us. Take advantage of us as a community. We have ideas. We can help you find those best guys in the world to put up on that stage so that everyone looks at it and says, wow, that guy's good. That's the reaction you want. Of course it is. Everyone's going to want to see that and say, whoa, I want to be able to do that. I want to be able to attack like that guy. We can help you there, but you have to communicate with us. You can't shut us out of these events. You got to embrace it and let us in. Let us help you make it a better event. I think you'll see that it'll be so much more well received by the community when you finally get those right guys on stage, and we can help you do that. That's pretty much it. I think that I've covered for the most part what I think we as a community need to do and what we're asking of SuperCell. But when it comes right down to it, SuperCell, all we want is communication. We want to be able to talk with you. We want you to listen. The answer doesn't have to be yes, but we want you to listen to us. Again, please if you work at SuperCell, please pass this around. Let everyone at SuperCell see it, because at least, for our satisfaction, you'll know what we're asking for. And you can contact me. You guys know how to get a hold of me. You can email me, Twitter, Skype. You've got all of it. So I would love to visit with you. Again, if it's not me, then someone that represents the war community. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Until next time, Jake from One Hive reminding you guys to suck less.